He is one of the most wanted cartel leaders in the world. Yet you know almost nothing about him. Here is the invisible story of Fausto Isidro Meza Flores, the phantom enemy of northwestern Mexico. Ready to discover how to build a criminal empire without a face or biography? In the scorched lands of northwestern Mexico, where the Sea of Cortez glistens like a blade under the sun, a name is whispered. It slips into dusty taverns, creeps into the crackling radios of patrols, is frozen in the cold ink of foreign decrees. This name, men pronounce it without a face, without a childhood, without a clear memory. They simply say, Fausto Isidro Meza Flores. No archive reveals the day he was born. No town hall records the date when his first cry mingled with the Pacific wind. The United States authorities compile files, seal indictments, but leave his birth date blank. The time of his arrival into the world is swallowed by silence. All that is known is this: he is Mexican, and his roots are planted in the rugged soil of Sinaloa, in the northwest of the country. This territory that police reports, dispatches, and austere studies repeat like a refrain. Sinaloa, without a declared municipality, without a recorded village of origin. A vague origin, surrounded by hills and poppy fields. From his childhood, nothing resurfaces. Neither the name of his school, nor the voice of his parents, nor his first manual tasks. No official file dares to trace these lines. No academic study claims to illuminate the years before he became El Chapo Isidro. The archives remain closed on this boy without a past. He enters history without youth, as if emerging fully armed from the shadows, already baptized by fear and blood. For when he appears, it is not under his full name. In the newspapers, in the communiques, it is his nicknames that precede him. El Chapo Isidro. Sometimes Chapo Fausto in the hurried headlines of the press. The word Chapo already resonates like an echo of another leader, of another clandestine empire. But this one is not Joaquín Guzmán. This one is a darker double, a more discreet reflection that men learn to distinguish as bullets plow through northern villages. To understand why this name carries weight, one must look at the land that saw him grow up. Sinaloa, a coast where the waves bring more than salt, valleys where the land nurtures more than maize. For decades, these hills have been open workshops under the sky. Marijuana thrives there like a native weed. The poppy bleeds its white latex, a distant promise of heroin. Then come other times, other powders. Methamphetamines prepared in laboratories hidden under metal sheets. Cocaine climbing from southern jungles to the northern border. DEA reports, the sober studies of foreign researchers repeat the same truth. Sinaloa is not only a state, it is an artery of the illicit economy of the Americas. But Sinaloa is not isolated. At first, it is a fragment of a larger body, the Guadalajara cartel. In the 1980s, this cartel rules like a hydra with multiple heads. Its roots snake from the Pacific to the Rio Grande. Its men pay, corrupt, threaten, negotiate. The entire country, in those years, learns to live under the invisible weight of an organization that treats the border as a familiar threshold. Yet, criminal lineages never last intact. Alliances crack, leaders fall, interests conflict. Thus, slowly, the colossus of Guadalajara disintegrates. Fragments emerge from the fall. Entire cities become emblems. Tijuana, with its border streets, lends its name to a new cartel. Ciudad Juárez, a blood gateway to Texas, spawns another group. And in this fragmentation, Sinaloa also rises as a banner. The Sinaloa cartel emerges from the ruins of a common empire, carried by figures who will soon become famous. Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, Ismael El Mayo Zambada, and, alongside them, ambitious brothers, the Beltrán Leiva. Héctor, Arturo, Alfredo, Carlos. 4 brothers advancing at the core of the alliance. In the 1990s and 2000s, they gained strength, influence, territories. American indictments name them. Mexican security reports track them closely. They control routes, laboratories, armed men. They are a pillar of the architecture of the Sinaloa cartel, a pillar that will soon demand its own kingdom. During this time, violence follows its silent logic. Convoys move by night. Weapons circulate under tarps. The tolls are counted in bodies found in ditches, in names whispered in police stations. But a turning point is approaching. In December 2006, a new president takes the helm of Mexico, Felipe Calderón. He raises his hand and promises a war. His enemy bears no national flag, but has corridos, ranches, and hidden accounts. Soldiers are ordered to climb into trucks to patrol the northern states. Sinaloa, Sonora, Durango, Chihuahua see the army and federal police flood in. The war on drug trafficking is officially beginning. It won't end anytime soon. In this tense setting, a man with no documented childhood begins to take shape on the radar. In the mid to late 2000s, a few terse lines appear in the Mexican press. His name is read: Fausto Isidro Meza Flores. No portrait, no childhood testimonies, no teacher is quoted. Only a function, operator linked to the Beltrán Leiva cartel in the zones of Sinaloa and Sonora. He is talked about as a man of the field, a lieutenant, a head of an armed cell. Mexican authorities place him in the region of Guasave in the state of Sinaloa. Guasave, agricultural lands, irrigation canals, dusty roads, where ranches can hide convoys and ditches can hold secrets. Gradually, his shadow grows. After certain armed confrontations, official statements mention a group that would be linked to him. Shootouts break out on rural roads. Burned-out pickups remain at the side of roads. Bodies lie under the sun, surrounded by shells. The press repeats the words of the authorities. A group associated with El Chapo Isidro would have participated in the fights. He is credited with attacks against security forces. He is associated with offensives against rivals. The nickname attaches itself to stories of violence like a signature. Plaza Chief, some articles say. Commander of an armed group, others write. Without clear photos, without interviews, without speeches. Only the idea of an invisible leader who keeps part of the Northwest under his gaze. But his true ascent weaves itself into the rupture of a larger alliance. In January 2008, Mexican forces strike in Culiacán, nervous capital of Sinaloa. In an official operation, they arrest Alfredo Beltrán Leiva, nicknamed El Mochomo. The statements proclaim it. Cameras flash. Newspapers cover the capture, describe the convoys, show the soldiers' faces. But behind the arrest, a rumor grows. Who delivered Alfredo? The Beltrán Leiva brothers search for a culprit. Very quickly, they point the finger at their former ally, Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. They accuse him of betrayal. They say he sold Alfredo to the authorities, that the hand of the state closed, guided by another criminal hand. Words flare. Ties break. In 2008, the historic alliance between the Sinaloa cartel and the Beltrán Leiva clan shatters amid the clamor of accusations. It is no longer a mere discreet rivalry. It is an open war. Everywhere, the fracture ignites fires. In the state of Sinaloa, homicides multiply. There are kidnappings, torture, executions. The roads crossing the hills become hunting corridors. The villages of Sonora and Durango reek of gunpowder and fear. Joaquín Guzmán's forces and Ismael El Mayo Zambadas face off against those of Arturo Beltrán Leyva. It is a war of enemy brothers who know every corner of the same valleys, every ranch, every clandestine airstrip. And in this turmoil, Fausto Isidro Meza Flores solidifies his role. Security analyses, timelines drawn by journalists, discreet notes from intelligence services now see him as an essential field operator for the Beltrán Leyva faction in the northwest. Guasave, the surrounding countryside, certain areas of Sonora. There, his name circulates among those who hold a gun and command. He becomes one of those regional warlords who, in the tempest of the great cartels, carve out a share of power. But already, his footprint surpasses the status of mere lieutenant. On the other side of the Rio Grande, cold eyes observe the flow. In the offices of the U.S. Treasury Department, investigators piece together the routes of shipments, follow the money transfers trails, read operation reports in Spanish. Over the years, an entity takes shape in their files: the Meza Flores organization. No longer just a man attached to another banner, but an independent group, identified as a distinct cartel. The OFAC documents, the Treasury branch responsible for sanctions, inscribe this new name in their lists: Meza Flores Organization. They describe it as a criminal entity, involved in drug trafficking, money laundering, violence in northwest Mexico. They locate its heart in Sinaloa and Sonora. From there, they say, this organization sends merchandise across the border into the United States, through deserts, through mountains, through corrupted checkpoints. To outside observers, its internal structure remains veiled. No detailed hierarchical list ever comes to light. It is not known how many men obey it, nor how they are commanded. But one point is clear. American authorities name Fausto Isidro Meza Flores as the leader of this organization, in bold letters. He is the known summit of what, below, remains hazy. They add that this organization is allied with, or stems from, the Beltrán Leyva structure. Like a branch that, by thickening, starts to resemble a separate trunk. No precise creation date is given, no official moment when Meza Flores ceremonially parted from his protectors. Only the observation, from now on, he exists as the leader of a cartel that bears his name. Thus, the safeguard set like pieces on a chessboard of dust and blood. First, the territory. Trafficking routes are veins that no cartel wants to relinquish. Sinaloa, Sonora, Durango, Chihuahua. These states become the theater of a struggle for every kilometer of trail, every mountain path, every crossing point to the north. Security reports, DEA analyses, describe these routes as strategic prizes. The Meza Flores organization confronts there the powerful Sinaloa cartel and other groups, smaller, wilder, but just as ready to kill for a well-filled suitcase. Then, the confrontation with the Mexican state. Since 2006, soldiers have not truly left these regions. Military convoys enter villages, helicopters fly over ranches, federal police units conduct nighttime operations. Official communiques begin to name Meza Flores as a priority target. Local governments, federal authorities draw up lists of priority targets. On these lists, among other leaders, his name appears, often accompanied by his nickname. El Chapo Isidro becomes a specifically designated adversary of the state. Finally, the stakes go beyond borders. The American authorities, who see drugs crossing the Rio Grande, take a closer interest in this organization. Federal investigators open files, In their indictments, they talk about conspiracy to import and distribute drugs. They mention members of the Meza Flores organization, linking them to a network commanded by Fausto Isidro. The name of this discreet leader begins to circulate in courtrooms hundreds of kilometers from Sinaloa, transcribed in black letters on the white pages of the courts. Thus, a particular tension unfolds. In a world where some barons become almost mythical figures for the general public, the face of Meza Flores remains in shadow. Outside of Mexico, few know his name. Few can describe him. He does not have the worldwide fame of a Guzmán, nor the folklore that accompanies him. Yet, official references to his operational role accumulate. Reports name him. Sanction lists include him. Analyses make him a fixed point on the map of northwestern narco-traffic. A regional cartel leader rises, almost without biography, carried by documents that speak more of cargo than memories. Around him, the war between organizations, the pressure of the state, the gaze of the United States weave a tightening web. But for now, in these years when his name gains weight, no authority claims his capture. He remains outside. In the valleys, in the towns with narrow streets, in the convoys that cut through the night. A fugitive without a known birth date, but with a clandestine empire that official maps now draw in letters of fire. And this is only the threshold of his bloody legend. For soon, the war between Sinaloa and the Beltrán Leyva ignites further. Leaders fall, alliances break, and the shadow of Meza Flores extends to the icy offices of Washington. The northwest of Mexico becomes a battlefield where every hill, every ranch, every deserted road can hide the elusive silhouette of El Chapo Isidro.